Hi guys, it's Weeda, and I am here with a really quick how-to video. On top right here, this is a takeoff of Painting with Jane and her ghosts. I think her video is 13 minutes, but honestly, this is not a very well done one, and I threw it together in like 7. It's just so you can see some different colors. She used a lovely, oh, I don't even remember. I did the painting originally in the same colors that she used, and I think it's hiding somewhere in my classroom and I can't find it, but I really wanted to put something up for Halloween, so I did another one very quickly, and by very quickly I mean like 7 minutes, because I got interrupted with it, so I just threw it together. But because I'm going to be doing a bunch of Halloween paintings for my classroom, I am recycling some canvases. And I got a question about how to reuse canvases. I don't know if I can zoom out. No, I can't zoom out anymore, but I think this is like an 18 by 24, and this is an old canvas and it's not in very good shape, so I think it's a perfect one to recycle for Halloween. The thing is, I don't know what was used on this canvas. I didn't do it, and I wanted to point out that if I were to just gesso over this, there's a good likelihood that some of this will bleed through, because I'm not sure what it was done with. It doesn't look like it was all acrylic paint. So gesso does not seal. Okay, it's a great ground, but it will not seal your paintings, meaning if stuff can bleed through the gesso. So I'm going to go over this. If I'm doing something that I really want, that I really care about, I use matte medium, but for play paintings I'm using Mod Podge, and this will seal the painting. So I'm going to go over the painting first with some Mod Podge, and I use matte, but it doesn't matter. Both will do a good job. So I put a generous coat of Mod Podge, and when I say generous, I don't want to just, I don't want it dripping, but I do want enough that I can seal whatever was done. And this one, if I don't get a good coat on it the first time, then sometimes I may put a second coat on, just because it's easier to go ahead and do that than it is to put gesso on it, have something bleed through, and then have to come back and try to seal it again. So when you don't know what's on the painting, just go ahead and put some gesso. Yeah, this is weird. I can't tell what they used on this particular one. But just go ahead and put, not gesso, I'm sorry, put gel medium or seal it with Mod Podge, something like that, that's going to create a barrier and prevent what's underneath from bleeding through. So doing that, and I will do that on the ends, but I'm not going to have you guys sit through that. So here I am. And I like to apply Mod Podge, gesso, gel medium, whatever, with a sponge brush, because gesso is hard on brushes. If I have a brush, then I have a dedicated gesso brush that I use. So here I put a pretty good coat all over. I think this is going to seal it fairly well, and that will let me get a little more use. Okay, so I'm going to dry it and I'll be back. Okay, I am back, and I have this canvas that I am trying to repurpose. This was one that somebody found, and I put the coat of Mod Podge on there. I let it dry. Truthfully, I usually just try to leave it overnight. This one's been drying, I don't know, a couple weeks or so. So anyway, I'm glad I did. There's a spot, I don't know, there, right there. And I have a feeling that no matter what I did, that was going to bleed through. I really didn't notice it on the painting before I put the Mod Podge on it, but it's there now. So the next step, just to reuse the canvas, is now that it is sealed, okay, I'm going to put gesso on it. Anything that was on the canvas that might bleed through has now been sealed, so I don't have to worry about whatever that spot was. And there's just some weird spots in this one, and I am not just randomly taking student work, because this was, I think, a canvas done by a student for some type of social studies project. I don't know. When a teacher retired, he cleaned out his room, and this was something he actually inherited. This wasn't from one of his assignments, so we really don't know who did it, and it's signed, not signed, sorry, so no clue. And it looks like it's going to take a couple coats of gesso. I'm using Liquitex. I like to apply it with a sponge because it's so hard on brushes. The gesso is hard on brushes. So, and I'm slinging that gesso all over, which I need to be careful because I'm not wearing my apron. So let me take it a little easier. And when I put gesso on, generally I'll do something like go in one direction for one coat. I knew I was going to get gesso on my clothes. I knew it. Okay. I try to put, once I get the gesso on, there's something, nope, that's in the paint. Put it on going in one direction. Then when this dries, the subsequent coat after this one will be horizontally. Since the first coat I'm pretty much brushing out vertically, I will come back after this dries and put a coat on horizontally, and I'll alternate until I get this covered. And I don't know why the light suddenly got weird in here, but I will be back.